What screams bad parents to you? Treating your kid as your therapist. Parents who can't apologize to a child. It's okay to have human emotions and moment to be triggered or struggling and lash out or be wrong. But for the love of all things good, apologize and change. Your own children being afraid of you. No child should be afraid of the person that looks after them nearly 24/7. Using children as pawns in divorces or separations. Dr. Pepper in the baby bottle. I have witnessed moms filling up baby bottles at McDonald's. I am not a judgmental person, but I definitely think this qualifies as bad parenting. Family YouTube channels. When your parents say it's not that big of a deal. We've done this twice already with your older siblings before high school graduation. Not believing in telling your children no. The world will and should tell them no at times. They need to be prepared for that reality, or they will be an absolute menace to everyone around them. Those parents who take the doors off of their kids' rooms, or just don't allow their children to have any sort of privacy. Putting money for partying and drugs above your child, but also making them feel bad for getting necessities like school supplies and clothes. Children stuck to iPads being ignored when they're being inquisitive, shouting at them, calling them bad rather than trying to understand why they're behaving that way. Trying to get them to explain what's wrong. I mean young toddlers, preschool type age. Can't stand hearing those screeching shrill mothers either. Dads who just don't do fuck all, expect the mom to deal with everything. Known guests boast about never changing a nappy or do night feeds, useless spunk givers. Your kids never visiting once they move out or go to college. People that think loving their child is spoiling them and letting them do whatever they want. Taking your son down to the bottom of the sea in a death trap submarine just because you're feeling adventurous. The kids always seem hungry. Not because they're poor, but because the parents can't be bothered to feed them. I'll give you something to cry about. Not believing their child when something horrible happens to them. Parents that don't believe in medication. Like, forbid their kid from having medication that'll significantly help the kid in school. Don't believe. Yes, I'm calling out one of my friend's parents. I also have a bunch of other things to call them out for. Medical neglect, yelling, physical violence, sexual assault, withholding affection, manipulation, lying, denying them food, water, sleep, education. A parent who wants to be right, not righteous. Putting their own selfishness above their child's needs. As a teacher, when a student tells you, "I wish you were my parent," nothing screams red flag more than that sentence. I was a waitress anytime a parent said, "You ordered this food. You're going to finish it." I felt so bad for the kid. To-go boxes are free and save your kid discomfort, and the food isn't wasted. Parents who say they aren't upset about something, but still bring it up at every family gathering years later. When a child is sincerely scared. Using your kid as therapy and then getting upset when they have issues regulating their emotions. If the kid is scared of doing everything in the world in fear they would get in trouble. Children that never become self-reliant. Talking shit about your child or your child's other parent in front of your child. Let your kids run down the road you live on naked, also letting them piss and shit on the street. Because you're too fucking lazy and stoned to actually watch what they are doing. Yes, some of my neighbors. Not teaching basic manners. Growing up in the 2000s, 2010s, and I can say my take would be letting children have phones way too young and unsupervised access to the internet. Lazy parents lead to groomed and abused kids. Too slippery of a slope to risk that. When their kids are more mature than them. And you can always tell a person had horrible parents when they apologize for everything. Because I told you. Smoking all the time. The child lives in a smoky house. I don't care what you want. You are my son, daughter. Teaching the child that life is hopeless and there is no chance that the child will it better than the parents. Not being consistent and predictable about rules. Never apologizing to your child. Chain smoking while preggers is generally a telltale sign. People who try to live vicariously through their child. You made the decision to give birth to a human being. If you wanted an entity to control and manipulate and do what you want, play The Sims. Your child is a unique human being. Get off their back. My sister is a great parent. Unfortunately, her ex-husband is not. The 8-year-old will come back from weekends with dad saying things like Joe Biden is a piece of shit or have opinions on things like immigration and abortion. Parents that say there are consequences, but never follow through. Spoiled children with no good manners. Allowing a kid to slap, poke, kick or anything like that to an animal pet. Their idea of swimming lessons is throwing them in the deep end. As a former lifeguard and swim instructor, this makes me so angry, especially since my parents did that to me, and that caused me to be afraid of water above my chin till I was 12. Letting their kids run wild and misbehave in a public area. In high school, my daughter was complaining about her chores, i.e., doing some dishes, vacuuming, folding some laundry. She said her friends' parents never made them do chores. The parents just did everything for them, including cleaning their rooms. To me, that screams bad parent. And I told her so. I told her I was raising her to be an adult, and that her friends' parents weren't doing their job. Then she got to college and roomed with some of those kids and saw exactly what I was talking about. Hit children as punishment. No showing affection. Notice only the bad things they do. Helicopter. Parents who outright swear at their kids. Belittling children. Berating children. Hitting children. Not listening to children. Social media channels built on the kids. Insulting your kid or making any sort of rude comments and then say it's just a joke when they get upset. Letting their child run amok in public. Being loud, destructive, obnoxious or violent, especially when dipshit parent doubles down saying their turd spawn can do no wrong. Anything that remotely resembles what my parents did. Parents that are always dressed nicely and have the newest XYZ, but their kids are dirty looking in raggedy clothes. Parents who don't let their kids be their authentic selves. This can be fashion, music, hobbies, gender, sports, etc. Not divorcing your spouse after they tried to kill your child. Because divorce is wrong but child abuse is okay. Mom has money for her fucking cigarettes, but she doesn't have a lousy $7 to buy the kid a toy he's been crying for. That was my mom, by the way, back in 1974, and I wanted a toy ray gun. When the kids don't have a set bedtime and are still up at 12 at night running around in the apartment. One of the places I've lived in, 2 consecutive families were like this in the apartment upstairs to me. Parents who just throw money at their kids instead of being a real parent. Not stopping their kids from being too rough with animals.